Here's something that will stop you in your tracks. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that people who walk regularly but walk incorrectly can actually accelerate joint damage faster than people who barely walk at all. Let that sink in. You could be doing the one thing doctors tell you is the healthiest habit you can have, and it could be slowly working against you. If you're over 50 and you walk for your health, and I hope you do, the next 12 minutes may be the most important thing you watch this year. Because today, we're not talking about whether to walk. We're talking about how, and the difference is enormous. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll walk differently, and you'll feel it within the first week. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 64, retired school teacher, sharp as a tack. For 2 years, she walked every single morning, 35 minutes, rain or shine. She was proud of it. Her doctor was proud of it. But slowly, something changed. Her knees started aching by afternoon. Her lower back felt stiff after every walk. She was sleeping worse. And worst of all, she started dreading the very thing she'd come to love. She came in convinced something was seriously wrong with her joints. But here's what I found. Her joints were actually in decent shape. The way she was walking was the problem. Margaret isn't unusual. In fact, she represents millions of people over 50 who are putting in the effort, genuinely doing something wonderful for their health, but missing a few critical details that turn a healing habit into a harmful one. So why does this happen more after 50? After 50, your body changes in 4 very specific ways that make how you walk matter far more than it did at 30. First, muscle mass begins declining, about 1% per year after 50. Less muscle means less joint support, less balance, and less ability to absorb the shock of each step. Second, your joint cartilage depends entirely on movement for nutrition. No blood supply reaches it directly. It feeds through a fluid called synovial fluid, and that fluid only circulates properly with correct movement. Wrong movement literally starves your cartilage. Third, circulation to the legs becomes less efficient. Your blood vessels gradually lose some elasticity. This is why many people over 50 notice tired, heavy legs or cold feet, especially after activity. Fourth, your sense of balance and spatial awareness quietly begins to shift. Nothing dramatic, nothing you'd notice immediately, but it changes how safely you navigate uneven surfaces. Here's the good news, and I mean genuinely good news. Every single one of these changes responds beautifully to walking, correctly. Walking is medicine. But like any medicine, it has to be taken correctly to work. And taken incorrectly, it can cause side effects. Let's go through exactly what those mistakes are, and more importantly, exactly how to fix every one of them. Mistake number 1, starting your walk at full speed. Picture this. You step out your front door on a cold morning. You've got 30 minutes. You want to make the most of it, so you just go. That feels responsible, efficient even. But here's what's happening inside your body in those first few minutes. Your muscles are still in rest mode, literally cooler in temperature than they'll be 5 minutes later. Cool muscle fibers are less elastic. Less elastic fibers tear more easily under load. These aren't dramatic tears. They're microscopic. But they accumulate. And accumulated microdamage is exactly what becomes chronic soreness and inflammation. Your joints are unlubricated. That synovial fluid we mentioned, it doesn't spread evenly across your joint surfaces until you've had a few minutes of slow, gradual movement. Start fast, and your cartilage is essentially running without oil for the first several minutes. And your heart doesn't love sudden demands. When you spike intensity immediately, blood pressure jumps more sharply than it needs to. For anyone with any degree of arterial stiffness, which is extremely common after 50, this is unnecessary cardiovascular stress. The fix is beautifully simple. The first 3 to 5 minutes of every walk should be deliberately slow, not your normal pace, slower than your normal pace, almost strolling. Think of it as waking your body up before asking it to work. After 5 minutes, your joints are lubricated, your muscles are warm, your heart has eased into a working rhythm. Now you pick up your pace. No extra time required, just a different starting point. Mistake number 2, the posture that's costing you energy, causing pain, and stealing oxygen from your brain. Go outside on any busy street, watch people walk. The majority are hunched slightly forward, head jutted out, shoulders rolled in, eyes on the pavement. It looks harmless. It isn't. An adult human head weighs approximately 10 to 12 pounds. When it sits balanced directly above the spine, your neck handles that load with ease. But when your head shifts forward, even by an inch or two, the mechanical load on your neck and upper back multiplies dramatically. By the time your head is 2 inches forward, your neck muscles are managing the equivalent of 40 to 50 pounds of constant pressure. Walk 30 minutes in that position and you've given your neck and shoulders an exhausting workout. Not the good kind. But here's the part most people don't know. Hunched posture compresses your chest. Your diaphragm, the large dome-shaped muscle beneath your lungs that drives breathing, can't fully descend. Your lungs can't fully expand. You shift into shallow chest breathing using only the top portion of your lung capacity. Less oxygen into the blood, less energy to muscles and brain. This is why many people feel disproportionately tired after a walk, even when the distance was modest. They blame age. The real reason is posture, and posture is fixable. Here's the simple correction. Imagine a gentle upward pull at the very crown of your head, not a strain, just a sense of length. Let your spine decompress naturally. Ease your shoulders back and down, not a military stance, just neutral. Lift your eyes to the horizon ahead of you rather than the ground at your feet. Open chest, relaxed jaw, chin parallel to the ground. In this position, you breathe deeper. Your neck carries no excess weight, and your body moves the way it was designed to. Try it right now, sitting where you are. You'll feel the difference immediately. Mistake number 3, the shoes. And this one surprises people every time. 2 things happen to your feet naturally with age. The fat pads on the soles of your feet, your body's built-in shock absorbers, gradually thin out. This is normal, but it means every heel strike now sends more impact up through your ankle, knee, hip, and lower back. Simultaneously, the muscles and connective tissue supporting your foot arch weaken slightly. The arch can begin to flatten, and when the arch flattens, your entire lower body alignment shifts. The knee angles change, the hip rotates differently, and the spine compensates. The right shoe doesn't just protect your feet. It protects your knees, your hips, and your lower back. What to look for? Adequate cushioning in both the heel and the front of the shoe. Not so soft that your foot sinks without support, but soft enough to absorb ground impact. Arch support that follows the natural shape of your foot. Not a rigid insert, a gentle anatomically shaped structure. A flexible front sole. Your foot needs to bend naturally at the ball with each step. A sole that's rigid all the way to the toe disrupts your natural walking stride and overloads your calf and Achilles tendon over time. And one often overlooked point: replace your walking shoes regularly. The cushioning inside a shoe degrades long before the outer surface shows wear. If you walk consistently, aim to replace them every 10 to 12 months. It's one of the simplest investments you can make in your long-term joint health. Mistake number 4, saving it all up for one long walk. This pattern is extremely common. Life is busy, so you skip Monday through Friday and then go for a long, virtuous walk on Saturday. An hour, maybe more. You come home tired and satisfied, but from a physiological standpoint, your body doesn't store the credit. Your body adapts to what it experiences repeatedly. Every consistent walk sends your cardiovascular system, your muscles, your metabolism a signal. Physical activity is the norm here, Adapt accordingly. One walk a week is too weak a signal. The body never fully adapts. And worse, a long walk after 5 days of rest is a stress event for muscles that haven't been primed. They're cold, unprepared, and they let you know about it the next day. The evidence is consistent across multiple large studies. 20 to 30 minutes of walking on most days of the week, 5 to 6 days, is what produces measurable reductions in cardiovascular disease risk, blood sugar regulation, and bone density maintenance. Not one long outing per week. If that feels like a lot to start, and it might, begin with 3 days, just 15 minutes each. After 2 weeks, add a day. After another 2 weeks, add 5 minutes. Gradual progression isn't the cautious approach. It is the effective approach. Mistake number 5, keeping your arms still. Hands in pockets, arms hanging stiff, one hand holding a coffee cup. It seems inconsequential. It isn't. Walking is a full-body movement. When your left leg swings forward, your right arm naturally swings forward to counterbalance, and vice versa. This cross pattern is wired into your nervous system. It distributes spinal load symmetrically and reduces twisting stress on the lower back. When arms don't participate, the lower spine over-rotates to compensate. For anyone with back sensitivity, this can translate directly into pain. Beyond that, active arm swing recruits muscles across the shoulders, chest, and upper back. That means more total muscle mass working, higher caloric burn, better circulation, and stronger metabolic benefit from the exact same walk. The fix: bend your elbows to roughly 90 degrees, relax your shoulders, let your arms swing naturally forward and back in gentle rhythm, opposite your legs, not exaggerated, not forced, just released from their frozen position. Within a few walks, this will feel entirely natural, and the rhythm it creates actually makes walking feel easier. Mistake number 6, the phone. And this is the one I want you to really hear. When you walk while looking at a screen, you're not taking your walk and adding a distraction to it. You are fundamentally changing what your walk is. We've already covered what downward head position does to the neck. But there's a second concern that matters even more for anyone over 50. Your balance system, the vestibular apparatus in your inner ear, working together with your vision and your sense of body position, becomes slightly less precise with age. This is gradual, normal, and manageable, but what it means is that your brain increasingly relies on visual input from the environment to maintain stable balance while moving. When your eyes are on a screen, you lose the environmental input your brain needs to navigate safely. You stop seeing the uneven paving stone, the slight curb, the patch of wet leaves, the one step down. A fall after 60 is a different event than a fall at 35. The statistics around hip fractures in older adults are sobering. They frequently involve surgery, months of rehabilitation, and a long recovery road. The prevention is completely in your control. Phone in your pocket. If you enjoy audio, music, a podcast, an audiobook, earbuds are perfect. Keep the screen out of your hands. And consider this: walking with your attention actually on your walk, on the sensations in your body, on your surroundings, on your breathing, is itself a documented form of brain training. Attention, coordination, spatial awareness. These are neurological benefits that vanish the moment your eyes go to a screen. Give the walk to the walk. Mistake number 7, breathing while you walk. Most people breathe reactively while walking. They breathe however their body demands in the moment, usually shallow, usually through the mouth, usually without any rhythm. Here's why that matters. Nasal breathing, breathing through your nose, filters and humidifies air before it reaches your lungs. More importantly, it produces a molecule called nitric oxide in the nasal passages, which helps dilate blood vessels and improves oxygen delivery to tissues. Mouth breathing bypasses all of that. Additionally, rhythmic breathing, coordinating your breath with your steps, activates the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your nervous system responsible for calm, repair, and recovery. It lowers cortisol. It reduces the low-grade inflammatory state that many adults over 50 carry chronically. A simple practice to start. Inhale gently through your nose for 3 steps. Exhale through your nose or mouth for 4 steps. This slight extension of the exhale is the key. It's what triggers the calming, anti-inflammatory response. You don't need to maintain this the entire walk. Even 5 minutes of rhythmic nasal breathing during a walk produces measurable cardiovascular benefit. It sounds minor. The research says otherwise. Mistake number 8. Skipping recovery. Walking is not so strenuous that it demands an elaborate recovery plan. But it does demand something, and that something takes less than 10 minutes. Hydration first. Muscle tissue is about 75% water. Even mild dehydration, losing just 1 to 2% of your body's fluid, measurably slows muscle recovery, reduces elasticity, and increases cramping risk. Drink a glass of water after every walk. Not a sports drink. Water. Then, 5 minutes of gentle stretching. During a walk, your muscles work primarily in a shortening, contracting mode. Afterward, they remain slightly shortened. Over weeks and months, this accumulates into chronic tightness, particularly in the calves, the hamstrings at the back of the thigh, and the hip flexors at the front. 5 minutes of gentle post-walk stretching prevents this buildup entirely. Focus on a standing calf stretch against a wall, a gentle seated hamstring stretch, and a standing hip flexor stretch, 1 foot forward, 1 back, gently lowering the back knee if comfortable. And finally, rest days. Your body does not adapt during exercise. It adapts after exercise. During rest. That's when muscle fibers reinforce themselves, when cartilage remodels, when the cardiovascular system restructures. 1 to 2 rest days per week is not a setback. It is where the progress actually happens. Let's bring this all together clearly. Margaret, the retired teacher I mentioned at the beginning, she made 5 of these 8 changes. Within 3 weeks, her afternoon knee pain was nearly gone. Within 6 weeks, she told me she'd fallen back in love with her morning walks. Nothing dramatic. Just 8 corrections to a habit she was already doing. Here is your complete protocol. 1. Always begin with 3 to 5 minutes of slow walking. Let your body wake up before it works. 2. Check your posture. Spine tall, eyes forward, shoulders relaxed and back, chest open. Check in every few minutes during your walk. 3. Inspect your shoes. If they're over a year old and you walk regularly, replace them. If the soles are unevenly worn, replace them. 4. Walk most days of the week. 20 to 30 minutes, 5 to 6 times per week is the minimum effective dose your cardiovascular system responds to. Start with 3 days if that's where you are right now. 5. Let your arms move. Elbows at 90 degrees, gentle natural swing, opposite to your legs. 6. Phone in your pocket. Every walk, no exceptions. 7. Practice rhythmic nasal breathing for at least 5 minutes during your walk. Inhale 3 steps, exhale 4. 8. After every walk, 1 glass of water. 5 minutes of stretching, 1 to 2 rest days per week built into your schedule. That is the complete picture. Walking as medicine, taken correctly. Walking is one of the most accessible, evidence-supported, and genuinely effective things you can do for your health after 50. It costs nothing. It requires no equipment. It needs no special location. It just needs to be done right. You now know exactly how. If this video was useful to you, share it with someone you care about who walks for their health. They deserve to know this too. And if you'd like more content like this, practical, clear, medically grounded health information for people over 50, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Take care of yourself. You've absolutely earned it.